Hello everyone, my name is Chris Topper and I'd like to welcome you to the Figuring Out Fatherhood Chris Unplugged podcast. This podcast is a spin-off of the Figuring Out Fatherhood series, which you can find if you click on the link in the top left corner of the screen. New episodes of this podcast come out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. British Standard Time. And what I do is I squeeze important life topics, fatherhood topics, and personal development advice I've picked up on my journey into 8 to 12 minute bite-sized episodes, which I hope will help you in your journey to becoming a better version of yourself. This podcast is an important part of my journey, and I'm excited to have you on it with me. Feel free to follow me on my personal Instagram page, that's Chris_Topper. You can follow the official Figuring Out Fatherhood Instagram page, and that's Figuring Out Fatherhood, all one word, _. You can also subscribe to the website, that's www.figuringoutfatherhood.com. This is currently going through a revamp, and I plan to share that with you very, very soon. Today's episode actually is quite interesting to me, and it's actually quite personal to me as well. And what I want to do is I want to talk to you about things I think you should consider as a dad when you're dating. When you're dating someone, when you get to know someone new, I think these are key things that I personally keep in mind when I'm dating and I'm choosing a partner for myself. And I felt like it would be good to share these with you because people have asked me, what's it like dating as a dad? Personally, I find it pretty straightforward, but not everyone finds it this way. It's important to know at this point that I'm not suggesting or what I'm saying is gospel or it's the right or wrong way or what you're doing is right or wrong, but these are just things that I consider when I'm dating personally. I try not to overcomplicate things when I'm dating people, but I keep these things in mind, especially because I'm a dad. Obviously, you have your standard what's her religion like, or what's her ambition in life, or what kind of person is she. These are standard things that you consider. But when it comes to dating, especially as a dad to a young girl who's 4 years old, these are things that I keep in the back of my mind, and I felt like you may find these beneficial. So, in no particular order, the first one I want to cover is, am I actually ready to date? What does that mean? Am I ready to date? There are many sub-points under this key point, but you need to think of things like your time. Do I have the time to actually date? Do I have the time to invest in getting to know someone else? Do I have the time to commit to someone else? Do I have the time to take someone out on dates on a regular basis, talk on the phone, to message or whatever? Do I actually have the time for all of that stuff? If I don't have that, I don't believe I'm ready to date in that moment. Am I ready to date emotionally? Do I have the emotional capacity to bring someone new into my life? Am I over whoever I was dating previously? How am I feeling emotionally? Do I have the capacity to bring someone, to let someone new into my heart? That's what it means. That's what I mean when I ask, am I ready to date emotionally? Am I ready to date financially? I feel like this is often underestimated, but it's really important, in my opinion, for you to have a clear understanding of where you stand financially. And this will also let you know how much you have to spend. In a previous episode, I covered 3 fundamental tips to co-parenting, and your finances was one of them. But when it comes to dating, it's important to know where you stand financially, because this will let you know if you can actually afford to date. Now, people will tell you that dating is cheap, dating don't have to be expensive, etc. But in that same breath, dating is expensive, and it's not just about your money or the finances, it's also about your time as well. Please keep in mind, I am absolutely of the opinion that dates do not have to be expensive. You can get creative with your dates, you can get creative how you spend your money. If you're the type of women you like, or women who like to go on expensive dates, who like to have things bought for them, there's also nothing wrong with that at all. But just know that if you're not sure of your financial standing, and this is the kind of woman you're going for, it can't necessarily coexist. Am I ready to date mentally? How's my emotional welfare? How's my emotional state? Do I have any baggage with me? By default, most people have baggage from previous relationships or just the different experiences in life. But you have to consider, will the baggage that you're carrying impact the quality of the relationship you're trying to build? Is it going to impact you getting to know someone else? Personally, I think it's unfair for you to take your emotional baggage and place on someone else to help you work through it. You need to do the work yourself first before you introduce someone new into your life. The next point I'd like to consider is, will my daughter actually like her? Will my daughter get on with her? I brought a child into this life. I brought a child into this world. How can I not take her feelings into consideration when I'm choosing a partner for myself? I'm introducing someone new into her world. How can I not think about how she's going to feel about that? Then the next thing is she good for my daughter? This is quite similar to the previous point, but it's important for you to remember that children are easily swayed. So even though your child may get on with her, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's good for your child. Like children, especially the younger they are, the easier it is to sway them. Just buy them some sweets, or buy them some snacks, or buy them some toys. And before you know it, they fall in love with you. But is she going to be good for my child? Is she going to be a good role model for my child? Will she make a good stepmom for my child? Does she have the core values I'm trying to instill in my child? These are things I just think about when it comes to if she's good for my daughter. The next thing I consider when I'm dating, especially as a dad, is will she get to know my daughter's mum? Now, this one, many people may not agree with it, but me personally, I have a good working relationship with my daughter's mum, and this is something I would like to maintain for the rest of our lives. So that also means that anyone I bring into my life and into my daughter's life, I'm also bringing into my daughter's mum's life as well. And vice versa, to be honest. Anyone that she decides to date or that she's bringing into my daughter's life will be in my life by default. And my preference would be to get on with him. So I have to give her that same respect. And you know what, above all else, I actually want my daughter's mum and my partner to have a good working relationship. I want them to have a good relationship, actually. I want us to know that my partner also has my daughter's best interest at heart. So it's imperative for me that they get on. And I think of little things like, say I want to go on holiday with my partner and I want to take my daughter with me. I don't want my daughter's mum worrying or panicking that, oh no, she's going on holiday with Chris's girlfriend that I don't like, or I'm not sure that Chris's girlfriend likes my daughter, etc. Like, there's so many things that I think about, and it's just like, I personally would just like to avoid all these things entirely and go on holiday in peace, knowing that all parties are happy, all parties are content. When my daughter's mum and I talk about dating, we agreed that before any of our respective partners meets our child, we will introduce the partner to each other, basically, to make sure that we get a chance to sort of vet them, to make sure we can get a chance to get to know them, and just to be comfortable with them before they meet our daughter. And I think that's only fair. Another thing to consider when dating as a dad is, does she actually mind the fact that I'm a dad? You'd be so surprised the fact that some people in this life are willing to choose you, but they won't choose your child as well. Now, I want you to take what I'm saying. They're willing to choose you, but they don't choose your child as well. That means that they're willing to love you, willing to like you, and put so much effort into getting to know you, but they're just willing to put up with your child or your children. And that's not the type of relationship I want for my partner and my child. I don't want my child to just put up with my partner. I don't want my partner to just put up with my child. I want them to get to know each other and love each other the same way they love me. I want us to be happy. I need my partners to love us as a collective. I need my partners to understand that it's me and my daughter. We come as a pair. We don't come separately. You want me, my daughter comes with it. So you can't just put up with my daughter. You have to love her. I'm not saying you're replacing her mum. We're not doing that in the slightest. I want you to have a good relationship with my daughter. And the final thing to consider is she good with children? This one sort of goes without saying, but you would be very, very surprised that not everyone is good with children. But for me, I need to know you're good with children. I need to know that your younger siblings, your nephews, your nieces, your godchildren, any children around you, you're good with them. You know, you're very capable of taking care of them. Now, take a step back and think of it this way, right? I'm not trying to replace her mum in any way, shape or form. But now I'm dating someone with a view to spend the rest of my life with them. Which means my daughter, in some shape or form, is going to have this person in her life for the rest of her life too. I need to know that whoever I'm dating is willing to make that extra bit of effort with my daughter to get to know her, to get to build a relationship with my child. I'm not trying to hear that you're trying to be civil. This is what you do with adults. Adults, when they don't get on or when they don't particularly like each other, they can work on being civil. But for my child, I need you to be willing to make that extra bit of effort to get to know her, get to like her, get her to like you as well. I'm not accepting just being civil with my child. I do understand this is a big ask of people, and you know what, if you're not willing to do that, then fair enough, maybe you're just not for me, to be honest. Because I know that if I was dating with a child, I'm willing to put in that extra bit of effort to get to know her child or children. I'm willing to do that because I know that I want to be with this woman. So it means those children are also going to be in my life. How are you not even getting on with a 4-year-old, to be honest? Now I've shared some things that I feel like are important for you to consider while you're dating as a dad. If you're not a dad, or you're planning to date someone that's a dad, or you're considering dating someone that's a dad, I think these are things you need to take in consideration as well. You know, maybe one day I'll do an episode of things to consider when dating a dad. Let me know something that actually interests you and I'll be sure to cover it in the future. And dads out there, if there's any tips you have for anyone that's planning to date a dad or thinking of dating a dad, please do let us know in the comments. It's important that we start to share this information as a community. Let people know what it is we're willing to and we're not willing to tolerate. Let's share our knowledge, let's help each other out. But that's the whole purpose of figuring out fatherhood. We're doing this as a collective, as a community. I actually covered dating in the actual Figuring Out Fatherhood series, which I'm going to drop a link in the description below. And it's with my good friend Vans. Vans is a dad and he is one of the hosts of the Off the Cuff podcast. I'll also put a link to that in the description below for you to have a look at. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is. I mean, there are other things to consider when dating as a dad, but those are the things I feel like will set you off and will get you thinking. We need to put a bit more thought into dating as dads. You can't just date like childless men. And that's it for today's episode, to be honest. But if you enjoyed this episode, you learned something new, or you feel that others may benefit from watching it, please do share it with your friends and family members. Share it on social media. Make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe. Your engagement is really important to me. Make sure you follow my Instagram page, that's Chris_Topper. Make sure you follow the official Figuring Out Fatherhood page, that's Figuring Out Fatherhood, all one word, _. And finally, make sure you also subscribe to the website, that's www.figuringoutfatherhood.com. The website's currently under construction, but that's going to be ready very, very soon. And as always, I'm going to leave you the same message I always leave you with, and that's making your mission to date to make a decision that future you will be grateful for. A future you'll be grateful for putting some thought into who you date as a dad. Until next time, guys.